9x19mm Parabellum German designer Georg Luger developed the 9x19mm cartridge in 1901, adapting an earlier bottlenecked round into a straight-walled pistol cartridge for his new Luger semi-automatic pistol. The German military officially adopted it in 1902, and it quickly spread across European armies through the following decades. Its adoption reflected a broader shift towards semi-automatic pistols, replacing older revolvers across European militaries at the turn of the century. It measures 19 millimeters in case length, typically fires a 115 to 147 grain bullet, and generates muzzle velocities between 350 and 400 meters per second, depending on load. Its moderate recoil and flat trajectory made it well suited to semi-automatic pistols and submachine guns designed around reliable, controllable fire. It works through standard blowback or short recoil pistol actions, generating enough pressure to cycle a slide reliably without excessive recoil for the shooter. Germany used it extensively in both world wars, and the Allied and Axis forces alike fielded submachine guns chambered for it, including the German MP-40 and British Sten gun. NATO officially standardized it as the alliance's default pistol and submachine gun cartridge in 1962, cementing its dominance across Western militaries. Modern ammunition improvements in bullet design have significantly increased its stopping power compared to older military ball ammunition. It remains the most widely used handgun cartridge in the world today, chambered in the vast majority of police, military, and civilian pistols manufactured globally. Its combination of manageable recoil, high magazine capacity, and proven stopping power keeps it the default choice for new firearm designs entering the market. 45 ACP American firearms designer John Browning developed the Time 45 ACP cartridge in 1904, responding to U.S. Army complaints that the Time 38 long Colt round used during the Philippine-American War lacked sufficient stopping power. The U.S. Army officially adopted it in 1911, alongside Browning's new M1911 pistol. Military reports from the Philippine campaign specifically cited soldiers being shot multiple times by opponents who kept fighting, directly driving demand for a harder-hitting cartridge. It measures 23 millimeters in case length, typically fires a 230 grain bullet, and generates muzzle velocities around 250 meters per second, notably slower than 9 millimeters, but with significantly more bullet mass. Its larger, heavier bullet delivers substantial stopping power at typical combat distances, though its slower velocity produces a more pronounced arcing trajectory at range. It functions through standard short recoil pistol actions, requiring slightly larger, heavier frames than typical 9mm pistols to safely handle its recoil impulse. American forces carried it through both world wars, Korea, and Vietnam, as the standard sidearm cartridge, alongside submachine guns like the Thompson chambered for the same round. The U.S. military officially replaced it with 9mm in 1985, though the cartridge remained enormously popular in civilian and law enforcement markets. Its continued popularity among civilian shooters and specialized police units reflects lasting confidence in its stopping power, despite the military switch. It remains a benchmark defensive handgun cartridge more than a century after its original introduction. Few cartridges have maintained such consistent civilian demand despite losing their official military status decades ago. 5.56 x 45mm NATO American engineer Eugene Stoner developed the 5.56 by 45mm cartridge in the late 1950s alongside his new AR-15 rifle, aiming to give infantry a lighter round that let soldiers carry significantly more ammunition than older full-power cartridges. The U.S. military officially adopted it with the M16 rifle in 1964. Early testing showed soldiers could carry roughly twice as much 5.56mm ammunition as an equivalent weight of older 7.62mm rounds, a major consideration for jungle operations in Vietnam. It measures 45mm in case length, typically fires a 55 to 77 grain bullet, and reaches muzzle velocities around 900 to 970 meters per second, depending on barrel length and load. Its high velocity and light bullet weight give it a flat trajectory and low recoil, allowing rapid, controllable fire compared to older, heavier military cartridges. It cycles through gas-operated rifle actions, including both direct impingement systems, like the M16, and gas piston systems used by many other modern rifles. American forces used it extensively throughout Vietnam and every major conflict since, and NATO officially standardized it as the Alliance's rifle cartridge in 1980. Its lighter recoil made fully automatic and rapid semi-automatic fire far more controllable for average soldiers than older 7.62mm rifles allowed. Ongoing debates about its effectiveness at extended range have prompted some militaries to explore heavier projectiles or entirely new cartridges. It remains the standard NATO rifle cartridge and the most common rifle caliber in the world today. Its influence extends across dozens of rifle designs manufactured by nearly every major arms producer on the planet. 7.62 x 39mm Soviet engineers developed the 7.62 by 39mm cartridge during World War II, seeking an intermediate round more powerful than a pistol cartridge, but lighter and more controllable than the full-power rifle cartridges used in older Soviet weapons. The Soviet Union officially adopted it with the SKS rifle in 1945, followed by the AK-47 in 1949. Soviet designers studied captured German intermediate cartridges from World War II closely, drawing inspiration from similar concepts already being developed by German engineers. It measures 39mm in case length, typically fires a 122 to 125 grain bullet, and reaches muzzle velocities around 715 meters per second from a standard rifle-length barrel. Its moderate power and weight struck a deliberate balance between range, recoil control, and the ability for soldiers to carry large amounts of ammunition. It cycles reliably through gas-operated rifle actions, most famously the long-stroke piston system used in the AK-47 and its countless variants. Soviet and Warsaw Pact forces used it throughout the Cold War, and it spread globally through Soviet arms exports to Allied and insurgent forces across Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. Its widespread manufacture across dozens of countries made it one of the most produced military cartridges in history. It remains in common use today wherever Kalashnikov pattern rifles are fielded, which includes militaries, insurgencies, and civilian shooters across virtually every continent. Its enormous global production numbers make it one of the most recognizable rifle cartridges in modern history. 7.62 x 51mm NATO, developed jointly by American and European engineers during the early 1950s, the 7.62 by 51 NATO cartridge modernized older full-power rifle rounds while reducing overall case length for use in newer, lighter automatic rifles. NATO officially standardized it in 1954, adopting it across the Alliance's rifles and machine guns. The standardization effort aimed to simplify ammunition logistics across a multinational alliance, letting different countries' forces share compatible ammunition supplies during joint operations. It measures 51mm in case length, typically fires a 147 to 175 grain bullet, and reaches muzzle velocities around 830 to 850 meters per second, depending on barrel length and load. Its significant power and range made it well suited to both individual rifles and belt-fed machine guns, requiring greater penetration and effective distance than smaller cartridges. It cycles through gas-operated actions in rifles like the Fen-Pfal and M14, and through more robust mechanisms in general-purpose machine guns, firing it continuously at high rates. NATO forces used it throughout the Cold War in both rifle and machine gun roles, though its recoil made fully automatic rifle fire difficult to control compared to smaller cartridges. Many militaries later shifted primary rifle use toward 5.56mm while retaining 7.62mm for designated marksman rifles and machine guns needing greater range. It remains the standard cartridge for numerous sniper rifles, machine guns, and precision rifles used by NATO militaries today. Its balance of power and manageability has kept it relevant even decades after most infantry rifles moved to smaller cartridges. 50 BMG American firearms designer John Browning developed the .50 BMG cartridge during World War I, responding to a U.S. Army request for a round capable of defeating early armored vehicles and aircraft. It was officially adopted in 1921, alongside the M2 Browning heavy machine gun. General John Pershing reportedly requested a cartridge specifically capable of penetrating the armored vehicles and observation balloons, increasingly common on the World War I battlefield. It measures 99 millimeters in case length, typically fires a 660 to 800 grain bullet, and reaches muzzle velocities around 900 meters per second, delivering enormous kinetic energy compared to standard rifle cartridges. Its massive size and power made it effective against light armor, aircraft, and equipment at ranges far beyond typical infantry rifle cartridges. It cycles through heavy machine gun mechanisms like the M2, as well as bolt-action and semi-automatic anti-materiel rifles, including the Barrett M82 and Macmillan TAC-50. American and Allied forces used it throughout World War II in aircraft and vehicle-mounted machine guns, and it later became the standard round for long-range anti-materiel sniper rifles. Its extreme range and power have made it the cartridge behind several record-setting long-range confirmed sniper kills in modern conflicts. It remains in active service today, over a century after its introduction, in machine guns, anti-materiel rifles, and specialized long-range applications worldwide. Few cartridges from the World War I era have remained this militarily relevant for quite as long. 338 Lapua Magnum Finnish ammunition manufacturer, Lapua developed the 338 Lapua Magnum during the late 1980s, working with American and British firearms companies to create a long-range cartridge bridging the gap between standard 7.62mm sniper rounds and the much larger 50 BMG. It was officially released commercially in 1989, targeting military and law enforcement long-range shooting applications. It measures 93 millimeters in case length, typically fires a 250 to 300 grain bullet, and reaches muzzle velocities around 880 meters per second, giving it substantially more range than standard 7.62mm cartridges. Its design balances significant long-range performance with a more manageable size and recoil than full 50 caliber rifles, making it practical for a single shooter without a second crew member. It cycles through bolt-action precision rifles specifically built around its dimensions, including the Accuracy International Arctic Warfare Magnum, covered elsewhere in this format. Military snipers across NATO nations adopted it during the 2000s for engagements beyond the effective range of standard 7.62mm rifles. Its accuracy and range made it popular in Afghanistan, where engagement distances often exceeded what earlier sniper rifles could effectively reach. It remains a preferred cartridge for military and police precision shooting roles requiring extended range without the bulk of a true .50 caliber platform. Its middle ground performance has made it a lasting favorite among long-range shooters wanting more reach without a second-person spotter and loader team. 12-gauge shotgun shells trace back to mid-19th century breech-loading shotgun development, with the 12-gauge bore size becoming a common commercial standard by the late 1800s across hunting and sporting markets. Standardized shell dimensions solidified through the early 20th century as ammunition manufacturers adopted common lengths for interchangeability across different shotguns. A standard 12-gauge shell measures 70 millimeters, commonly loaded with buckshot, birdshot, or a single slug, with muzzle velocities around 400 meters per second, depending on the load. Its wide bore allows an enormous range of payload types, from dozens of small pellets for hunting birds to solid slugs capable of significant penetration at close range. It cycles through pump-action, semi-automatic, and break-action shotgun mechanisms, each suited to different roles, from hunting to home defense to military use. Military and police forces have used 12-gauge shotguns for close-quarters combat, breaching doors, and less lethal crowd control using specialized shell types. Hunters worldwide rely on it for game ranging from small birds to large deer, simply by changing shell type rather than changing firearms. Its versatility across shell types remains unmatched by any single rifle or pistol cartridge, since no other caliber offers such a wide range of purpose-built loads. It remains the dominant shotgun bore size worldwide across hunting, sport, military, and police applications alike. Its adaptability across so many roles explains why it has outlasted competing shotgun bore sizes across more than a century of continuous use. 22 long rifle American ammunition manufacturers developed the 22 long rifle cartridge in 1887, combining an earlier 22 long case with a heavier bullet to improve accuracy and power over previous small caliber rimfire rounds. It became commercially available that same year, quickly becoming a standard cartridge for small rifles and pistols. It measures just 15 millimeters in case length, typically fires a 30 to 40 grain bullet, and reaches muzzle velocities around 330 meters per second, among the mildest common cartridges in widespread use. Its extremely low recoil and low cost made it the standard training and small game hunting cartridge across generations of shooters worldwide. It cycles through simple blowback actions in both rifles and pistols, since its low pressure doesn't require the more complex locking mechanisms larger cartridges need. Generations of hunters have used it for small game like rabbits and squirrels, while militaries and shooting ranges worldwide use it extensively for marksmanship training due to its low cost and mild recoil. Some specialized military and police units have also used suppressed 22 long rifle firearms for specific low-noise applications. Its low cost keeps it the best-selling rifle and pistol cartridge in the world by sheer volume of rounds produced annually. It remains the first cartridge most new shooters ever fire, a role it has held for well over a century. Its mild recoil and low noise continue making it the natural starting point for anyone learning to shoot for the very first time. If you found this breakdown useful, share this video with someone who's into firearms or military history. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive. Let us know in the comments which topic you want covered next.